welcome to another edition of Talking Models. Today we're going to look at another blast from the past. Do you remember the company Janus? All the beautiful kits that they created in their run of a model producer. You can see some of the Januses back behind me. This guy is going to be joining them after this video. Today we're going to look at the Ghoul. That was a good old movie, if you haven't seen that, starring Boris Karloff. Very airy and actually a good story for back in the day. So today we have it here finished. I was lucky to get this one off eBay for dirt cheap. For a Janus, $99. You can still find this one on there from time to time. And if you get a chance, pick it up. It's a piece of history, a blast from the past. And I can't express enough how much joy there was building this, painting this, just kind of taking me back to the late 90s when Janus used to set up at the Wonderfest shows and had that beautiful display of kits. Well, today you're going to see just another addition to Troy's wall of Janus kits. Let's take a look at it. As you can see, there's just so much in here. You've got the ground, you've got the lizard, you've got the sign that says the Ghoul, the little pot set here. Of course, you have the Sphinx that he's given a worship to. You have the blade. You have it's just a simple shirt, pants, shoes, and that zombie-like look that you've seen in the movie of Boris Karloff when he's zombied out. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I did with this today. It was all base coated in black over the automotive gray primer. His face and hands were left gray. Everything else was done with black. Now for this guy here, pretty simple. Over the black, I enlisted, let's see, one of Jesse's colors, which is from Garage US Colors, is Pearl Deep Gold. This is a great color. And I just started airbrushing it over the complete piece. It's just a beautiful, just like stands out, and it's very gold. And then of course, once I did that, of course, like I said, it's very gold. So then I come in with my trusty transparent black, and I start toning it down. Just kind of hitting the lines, hitting the crevices, just kind of bringing some of the black down, but yet still allowing the black to come through to give it that deep shadows. And really, that was all I did with that. And I did do a couple light sprays of Garage US Colors Transparent Raw Umber. I just kind of misted that over the whole piece just to give it a different hue, along with the gold, along with the black. And it just kind of dirties it up a little bit. Now for the pots that are on the base here over the black, I just airbrushed several coats of the transparent raw umber. I hit it with that. I hit it with transparent burnt umber. And then I also hit it with some transparent dark brown. And I just kind of played around with the different colors. And then, of course, over all of them, you give your swooping of the transparent black. Just kind of bring everything down and bring it together. The base itself, over the black, several different colors going on here. We started with Freak Flex Badger's Cursed Earth. Gave that a nice little spray over the whole thing. And just kind of hit it everywhere with it. Come back in with your transparent black. Tone it down a little bit so you get that dirty look. And then over that, I came back in with the transparent raw umber and sprayed that over the whole base. And on the extra footprints, I would hit it a little bit heavier with the transparent raw umber just to give it that dirty look, like around the sand he just stepped in it. And it gives it that kind of dirty piece and the dirty look that you see. And then I just kept coming back in with the Cursed Earth and just hitting the high spots, the corners, anywhere you want it to be a little bit more showing of the color you choose for the ground. And it's just that, again, that process of going back and forth until you get what you're looking for. Now for the lizard dude himself, over the black, I tried this color. I've used it on another kit. It's from Freakflex Badger. It's the Reptilius green. And I just sprayed that over him and just come over with a transparent raw umber, some transparent black, and just kind of toned it down, brought it up, toned it down. Again, that process that I was speaking of. Now, for the sign itself in the front, over the black, for the lettering on there, the Ghoul, not that Ghoul from the old 70s. Two colors were used from the Badger Freakflex, the Cat's Eye Yellow and Hot as Hell Orange. Those two colors were airbrushed for the lettering, and you just want to get a little bit of a fade going, and then you want to come in with the sign. I was really trying to decide what color I wanted. I wanted it to go with the base color and just stand out just a little bit more. So that's what I ended up doing, and for that I used Bleach Bone Tan from the Badger Freakflex line and just airbrushed it all around the lettering, and it just gives you that nice little contrast. The sides of the sign was left just black, and that's the base. Pretty simple. On to the Ghoul. Over the black for this guy, I started with the flesh tones. I always like to start with the flesh tones. For me, it dictates where the rest of his clothing is going. I toyed with doing like a white shirt, and if you know my style and you've watched the videos, I always tend to go differently and darker tones. And so once I got the face done, it dictated what I wanted to do with the rest. His flesh tones are pretty simple, actually. I brought out the Badger Freakflex line with Suntan Flesh and Rose Flesh. And I base coated it with Suntan Flesh, and then I came in with the Rose Flesh and just kind of hit some of around the cheeks, around the nose, forehead, a little bit in the chest area, tops of his hands, just to kind of give it a different hue to it. And then, of course, once you're done with that, I came in with some pastel work, and I just came in with some browns and some, I guess it would be burnt sienna, raw sienna, that type color. Just kind of hit around the eyes, all the little crevices below the pectorals, down here in the stomach area, up in the neck area, where the hairline meets the hair. I just kind of feathered everything in with the pastels, just kind of dirtying it up, if you will. And like I've described in other videos, then I take like a brown pastel and I use a bigger brush, wipe it off the sandpaper, and I gently just kind of go over the whole piece, real light, and then just kind of blow it off. It just kind of brings everything down a little bit, and it gives you this look that you see here. And then, of course, I come back in with the original color, which in this case was the Suntan Flesh. Got it a little bit closer with my Extreme 105, and I also used the chrome. Just hit the highlights, just kind of punch it up certain areas, chest area, cheeks, nose, forehead. And then, once I had all that done, and you do the same process on his hands. You always want to do that same stuff. Use the same coloring scheme that you're using. Red pastels were used below his eyes to give him that distressed look, because he was cray-cray. On his lips, I also hit some red in there with pastels and just kind of blended it all in. His 5 o'clock shadow around his face area basically was done with transparent black, and I came in and just real lightly, just kind of with my chrome, just kind of gently filled the area, followed up with a black pastel lightly, and just kind of blended it all. And then just a little bit of touch up around the areas with the Suntan Flesh, just to pull it all together. His hair over the black was just I believe it was Dolphin Gray from the Delta Cream Coat. Just dry brush the whole area of his hair, his eyebrows, and then you kind of calm that down with some transparent black on that areas. Now also for his eye area, the one eye is almost shut, the other eye's open. So I always start with the Bleach Bone Tan, as my base color for the eye. Then I draw in the circle with black. And for the eye color, I chose blue. And I pulled out this beautiful color here, the Asphyxia Blue from the Badger Freak Flex. For the eye color, then of course you come back in with the black pupil. And again, it's a process when you're working with flesh tones. Build it up, tone it down, and you can always come back in with your base color and hit the highlights. And or you could take like the base color, really mix it down with water or windshield wiper fluid and just kind of mist it over everything to tie it together. That also works. Now for his little sign here on his chest, that was just simply done with a red pastel, a real fine brush, and I just followed the lines that were in the sculpt and kind of gently moved it on the inside of the skin and on the outside of the skin just like it was a fresh cut, so you would see a little bit of bruising. And for his little amulet in his hand here that he's sacrificing, that was over the black, just dry brush with a gold and then toned down with transparent black. His pants, I pulled out this beautiful color that I did not actually bring over here, but it's mummified brown from Badger Freak Flex. Over the black, I just sprayed the whole pants area. I wanted to kind of keep it clean looking. And then I come in with the transparent black and kind of hit all the folds and start building up my shadows in the pants. Now his shoes, I just left straight up black. I've talked about it before. Freak Flex Badger has one called Body Bag Black. Flat, flat, flat black. Do yourself a favor. If you're going to Wonderfest in a couple weeks, go get this from Ken. You're welcome, Ken. And you won't be sorry with that choice of color. And that really completes his face, his hands, his pants, and now we're going to move on to the shirt. For his shirt, I brought in two colors, Bleach Bone Tan from the Badger Freak Flex and Rotten Tooth Tan. Those two colors were used to start building up shadows. I started with the darker color, which would be the Rotten Tooth Tan. Then I brought in the Bleach Bone Tan and just kind of hit highlights for the shirt. And again, the process begins back and forth. And then I brought in transparent raw umber to build up the folds in his shirts and just a gentle misting of the transparent black just to kind of tie everything together. And that was really all I did to his shirt. And that's what the final outcome was, and that's what I was looking for. Imagine that. For his blade, straight up silver, dry brushed over black, toned down with the transparent black. And for the handle itself, I just gently used some of that mummified brown and just hit the handle of the blade. And that is the Ghoul from Janus, which is sadly no longer around. So this kit is not available to purchase unless you're on eBay, unless you're at a hobby show, or you got a friend that just doesn't want to build it. But it is worth to check out. It is worth adding to your collection. And it's just capturing a piece of garage kit history, owning the Janus kit. So many beautiful kits out there today. Some that are just tremendous. This is just recapturing a little bit of the past for this hobby we all love. You know, us baby boomers are the ones that are recapturing the past, trying to reclaim the memories. And for me, this was one of those, and I couldn't turn down winning it for $99. So that's the Ghoul, and that's this latest episode of Talking Models. I would appreciate if you took a moment and subscribed to the channel, help this channel grow. I am trying to get to 200. I think I'm at 144. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody that has subscribed and for your support of this channel. It means so much to me to know that there's other, as my wife says, other geeks out there that love this stuff like I do. Right, babe? So thanks again for subscribing. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, join the family, and you will see all kinds of things coming down the pipe here on Talking Models. So thank you again, and I pray that all of you have a wonderful day, and may God bless your day.